A 43-year tradition returns to Great Falls this April that'll have you feeling like spring, whether it's sunny or snowing. We're chatting all about the icebreaker, plus our resident waterfowl at Gibson Park, coming up on this episode of We're No Damn Experts.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You wanna get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river tame, if you wanna go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
I'm Shannon Newth,
and we're No Damn Experts. This is our second recorded episode of the day. That does not mean, guests, that you've heard this. So
yeah,
I apologize in
advance.
advance.
This one will come before the one we recorded this morning.
Just know. There's dynamics that go on at play outside of the podcast
Rebecca's
studio.
already warned our guests that she gets twitchy, so we'll see how long Rebecca lasts for.
What's happening today, Shannon?
Yeah, we have Sarah Griffin in studio with us today because we're talking about one of Great Falls' premier events, the sign of spring, we hope, which is kind of ironic given the conditions today. But Sarah, welcome. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. Hi, ladies.
Hello,
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Sarah.
So, oh boy.
Whoa.
This is
And it's only Wednesday.
And we're only 2 minutes into the podcast. So Sarah reminded me when I reached out to her that we had met before, and it was when the ducks were rounded up into the Honker Hilton in the fall, which Steve Herrig has told me the tentative date for the release of them in early April.
It's coming up.
Weather pending, supposedly.
So you get to be a part of all
She
the
gets
cool
to be
things.
part of all the,
We are the Department of Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, so what is your official title?
So I am the admin
Okay.
at the department, so I pretty much do everything.
All
Yeah.
the Parks
Yeah.
and Rec stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just like the worst title
It really is.
because it doesn't. I mean,
It's not-
really. It is just you have your hand in
I
Everything.
catch
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is not as descriptive, or
No.
it doesn't draw as much honor as it should, given all the
No,
tasks that you do.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a catch-all.
Yeah. So you get to hang out with the ducks.
I do.
But we're talking today. Although if
Icebreaker.
you have fun duck stories, we'd love to hear those too.
I get to hang out with
But-
the big penguin on this event.
Oh.
Pacer the penguin.
Pacer the penguin.
Yes.
Is there an actual? Okay,
It's
let's
not a real
just
penguin.
start. Let's just start with. I'm not a runner.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon is. So she's going to get a little bit more excited about our topic, the icebreaker, which is a road race, than I am.
Yeah, good
I think it's a
clarification.
cool event.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to participate.
Are you going to come watch and cheer people on?
But likely not, because it's usually rainy and gross.
Okay, we're trying to sell this for people
Oh,
to get
sorry.
here.
Well, if you're a runner, it doesn't matter what the weather
I
is
actually
like.
enjoy running in the rain, but yeah.
Well, you could come and do it because we offer 3 different kinds of races.
Oh, okay.
And there's a walk
Yeah,
included.
so there's the 5 mile, which would work for you.
Well, she didn't say that I'm not in shape
Okay.
currently, so yeah.
maybe the 3 mile
that seems
would work
better
for you.
Yeah. Mhm.
So the 5 miles more the competitive one.
Okay.
Then we have the 3 mile where you can either walk or run.
Mhm.
And then we have the 1 mile, which is a little bit more laid back. That's more for the families. That's where Pacer gets involved. Pacer the penguin shows
Which
up.
is not a real penguin.
Oh, he's real in our hearts.
Oh,
What?
I wish he was
Give
a real
me more details. Like, it may not be a real penguin, but there is a penguin there.
It's Pacer the penguin.
Yes.
He's our mascot,
I
and he runs with all the kids. And
See?
we have other mascots that come too, like Orbits.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
From the
Centene shows up,
Voyagers.
yep.
Yeah.
He does the 1 mile?
He does the 1 mile,
Hey.
and sometimes Pacer and Orbits, they like to compete against each
Oh.
other.
The penguin or the alien? Who's
yes,
gonna win?
yes, and
Ooh.
then they'll race each other, and
Okay.
then sometimes Pacer, well, usually Pacer laps
Wins.
back,
Oh.
And then
Oh.
he makes sure that everyone gets through the finish line.
Oh, that's
Oh.
nice. of him.
Yes.
See, you could walk across the finish line hand in
Hand?
fin with Pacer.
And he does. He
Yeah.
makes sure.
Oh,
That's
No one
nice.
left behind.
yeah, that is really nice.
Yes.
I might do the 1 mile. I mean, I am capable of doing that.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to run it because my husband and I do have a pact that we don't run in public.
I don't run. Before I came to the department,
Do you
I
run in
never
front
ran.
of each other?
During
What's
the
a
summer,
weird thing to ask?
during the summer, we'll go in the evenings and go for walks.
Nice.
And then we challenge each other, like on a stretch of the road where there aren't people or houses. He's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you want to run this stretch?" I'm like, "Sure." He goes, "If a car starts to show up, we
We're
stop."
done.
I'm
Oh
like,
my
"Oh yeah, 100%. Nobody else should be seeing this happen."
Oh my gosh, I so want to watch this. It sounds so cute. Like what a
Oh
cute
my
thing for you
goodness.
guys.
Yeah. And so we'll challenge each other to run.
Aw.
But not when people if we won't do it in front of a road where there's a house because someone could look out their window and go, "Whoa, what are they doing?" Because it doesn't look like a run.
Should go use the trail for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
So the 1 mile I could do.
Yeah.
Are there prizes for 1 mile or is it just the sense of accomplishment?
Well, there's cash prizes for the 5 mile and there's prizes for the 3 mile, but everybody gets a medal.
Oh,
Oh, you get a finisher's medal.
Everybody gets a finisher's medal.
well, that's
Is
an
that-
incentive.
You could
Mhm.
maybe Pacer would even like put it
Put it on
over
me?
your neck like an Olympian, and you would feel really
And I
good.
could bite it.
Yeah.
You could just like run through like this.
Walk through.
Gonna have to put a
Walk
streamer
through.
up.
Walk through. Sorry, walk through.
I can
Yeah.
make the pose like I was running.
There you go.
Maybe I'll take some photos beforehand. to make
Try
sure.
this. Robert, take my phone.
What does this
Practice.
look like? I gotta determine if I'm gonna do this. But
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so every racer for signing up, you get the T-shirt,
Yeah.
the icebreaker T-shirt. You get a finisher's medal. You get a lunch.
Oh my
Get
goodness.
a drink. And then, when you're done, you go inside the Civic Center, and there's
Yeah.
an award ceremony and music and
Holy
Fun
moly!
fact: Jason, my husband, and in turn, I will be there to help because that's how it works when you're married. Is doing the music inside the Civic Center again this year.
Oh my
So,
goodness!
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you're already gonna
he
be
puts
there.
on
You
a good
could
show.
run.
I will be there. I won't be running because I'm helping, morally supporting that
Oh.
process. But yeah,
So I had asked, probably Patty Reardon, long time ago, because I had thought there was some special designation about the icebreaker, like it was a qualifier for the Boston Marathon, or it was like the first thing to do.
Something.
Because we get a lot of people that show up for this that
Yeah,
aren't
it's a
from
big event.
mm-hmm.
from Montana, aren't from the United States.
Mhm.
And I always guess I had known that and thought, maybe it's like this really, like it's the first race you could qualify for the Boston Marathon. And she said, no. Was she telling me the truth?
That is true. No, they,
You have to run a marathon to qualify for a marathon.
Oh,
yeah,
I
we
think.
just get a lot of competitive racers
Mm-hmm.
that are just, that's what they do for a living, is they just go from race to race to race. That's what
Oh,
they do
There's
for
any type of cash prize.
if there's any kind of cash prize, they just
Is,
travel
our
around.
cash prize bigger than other people's, or is it?
I don't know that it's bigger, but they just kind of, it's like they do the circuit. They
Yeah.
just go from,
Like rodeo.
yeah, exactly. They just go from race to
Mhm.
race. And I know we just opened registration on March 6th, so we haven't been open but a couple weeks, and
Yeah.
I already have 4 what you would call elite racers
oh,
wow.
that have already signed up
Wow.
for the icebreaker
in the 5 mile.
in the 5
Mhm.
mile. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the 5 miles are the
The higher prize.
what we would call the higher cash prizes.
What
Yeah.
kind of money we talking about? Like,
So
is
for
it
the
the
first
kind of money to
place
get in
is
shape for it?
Yeah.
$1,500
oh,
for
Yeah.
each the male and the female,
It's nothing to.
and
nothing to
then
scoff
from
at.
there it goes down.
Mm.
wow.
So that's the top prize.
Yeah.
Is the $1,500.
Does that motivate you more now?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm good with the medal
Yeah.
and the
The
and the
picture with
bag
Pacer,
lunch
yeah.
and
Mhm.
Pacer.
Yeah. That does sound more fun to me. But
Yeah. Meh, not enough.
And when is Icebreaker
Yeah,
this year?
you don't have that long
So
to get in
it's
shape.
Sunday, April 23rd.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time to
About
get.
about a month,
About
a
a
little
month,
over a month.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on my performance
gotta
this
get your
morning on
Rocky
the
on.
treadmill,
Yep.
it's not going to be prepared in time.
But you can still do the mile walk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done it?
Yeah, I did it. Well, my two daughters are 18 and 17, and I've done it before I came to the department. I did it every year since they were born.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they started in strollers.
Do
Wow.
they continue to do it?
No, now they're voluntold
Okay.
to work
Mhm.
the event.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of work that goes into. I mean,
Yeah.
Lots.
it's not just because it's not like you're just at a starting point. You've got like production around it. There's
Absolutely.
an arch. There's a signage. There's
Well, and just blocking off all the streets and making the route.
I started planning. Patty, our deputy director with Park and Recreation, she was the race director for the race before she retired. She's left us sadly,
Yeah.
officially retired.
there was no media release on that.
Yeah, I know, right? She left us sadly. But we, when she was with the department, we started the race in October of every year. Planning, yes. And so now that she's retired, I'm acting race director for it. And so I started this race back in October. And so, yeah, I've October to April. I mean, it's a long time
Yeah.
to plan one race. I mean, so you're starting with race t-shirt design and bidding and, forward. And then there's just so many working elements to
Yeah.
moving pieces.
And I know some of the people in the department, and it's like an all staff on deck type
Yeah.
of situation. And before we came on the air, you were talking about volunteers.
Yes.
So in addition to all of the Park and Rec staff, you need volunteers to run that.
Yeah, so we use all of our full-time staff, which is probably about I would say maybe 15, full-time staff.
50?
15, no, 1
One
5.
five.
1 5, there's probably about 15, 20 full-time staff that we
Okay.
use, and then we bring all of our seasonal staff back about a week before, just because of Icebreaker.
Wow.
And then we use probably, I would say, at least over 100 volunteers to,
Wow.
because we have to block streets off and then we barricade the streets, but we have to have people manning the barricades because if emergency personnel need to get through those
Yeah.
barricades, they have to be able to move those barricades.
Do people get pretty serious about their barricade duties,
Absolutely.
responsibilities?
Yeah, it's those,
I could see
it's
people
those
getting
orange
really,
vests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Mhm.
put those orange vests
Power-
on.
There's
It's
authority.
power.
There's
Uh-huh.
authority behind
Mhm.
those vests,
Yes.
So, and the routes are, you figure we're closing off huge,
Yeah.
5 mile stretch, 3 mile stretch, 1
Large
mile.
portion of
large-
road.
Yeah,
5
exactly.
miles is
And
not short.
No.
People love that when we close those roads off.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, they get so excited.
so excited when we close
I
those
used
roads
to-
down.
I used to live downtown, and I actually liked it because I could just watch from my apartment, and
Right?
watch everybody go by.
Are
Yeah.
there a
Yeah.
lot of spectators that line the streets?
Down near the Gibson area there is.
Okay.
Because that's where the finish line
Yeah,
is,
that's where the
right?
finish
Okay.
line is, yes. So we get a lot of people near the actual archway of the
Yeah.
finish line and the residential areas leading up to Gibson. We get a
Mhm.
lot of spectators. And we used to get a lot of people around the start line, lining
Yeah.
the central area.
Yeah.
But beyond that I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
It really
Yeah.
only matters
Well,
Yeah,
at the end.
start and the finish.
Yeah. So where does the 5 mile go, since that's the longest? So they all start in front of the Civic Center, which is right there. We've talked about the Fun 100 block, the 100 block on Central Avenue, right in the heart of downtown is where all of them start, correct? And all of them finish in the same spot in Gibson Park. How far out does the 5 mile go?
It goes
Couldn't be
Visually-
you couldn't
Yeah.
ask a harder question on a podcast.
roughly.
right. I mean, it
Roughly-
goes
well,
across.
Does it go down the River's Edge Trail, or is it just on?
Yeah,
Okay.
like
I didn't mean to make this a challenging question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is kind of a challenging question to describe.
Well, we'll have in the show notes on the podcast a link to the registration, and people can see all of that. But
and if they go to the icebreakergf.com website, we have the actual route maps on there.
But it's scenic in the sense you get to see downtown, you get to see along
and it goes,
our trail
it goes
and
across
park
the
system.
river. And under the underpass.
Yeah. Okay. So you get the good views there of downtown along the water, along the trail.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm gonna check out the maps.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I never even considered like
where it would go.
Right.
Yeah.
And there would be different routes for the 5, 3, and 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obviously, it is apparent that you're not going to go the same routes,
right? But on the 5 mile, you get a pretty scenic view of our community. Yeah. Do you ever get to be near the finish line?
Well, yeah. As part of my responsibility is I have to also take all the pictures for the icebreaker.
Oh, no big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as
that's a big job.
Yeah, as part of juggling,
that should be a whole separate job.
Right. It would be nice.
Yeah.
As part of making sure that the inside registration is going off without a hitch, I'm also running outside and catching all the, the gunshots going off, and sometimes that's a tough juggle. Actually last year, Samantha Clark, she's one of our most recent certified arborists for the forestry department. I actually was able to talk her into going up into the bucket truck for me, because I didn't have time. Normally it's me having to go up in the bucket truck and try to get the aerial shots of the start line, because that's the best photos of the start. So I was able to get her to do it. But normally it's me in a little, if you see a crazy golf cart driving around, it's me in a golf cart, trying to get the pictures.
I was going to say, you must get in a lot of running yourself on that day.
No.
It's all the golf cart.
I cheat and run around in a golf cart. So it's usually, I know all the best ways to get around downtown through the alleys and the shortcuts.
Oh yeah.
Just for icebreaker. Otherwise I wouldn't know.
Otherwise you have no idea.
Yeah, because I know where all the guys, they leave strategic barricade. And I tell you, our staff is the best staff in the world, because they have it down to a fine art that they've left barricades. I'm not kidding you.
Like
just enough room to fit my golf cart,
nice.
so that I can literally fly through a barricade and just
that makes me nervous. I'm like, somebody's gonna bump it and it's not gonna work.
One of these days I'm gonna take out either myself or a barricade.
Scrape the side of the golf cart.
That or my golf cart is gonna go flying, but I do have the good opportunity to see some of these great racers, like up close and personal, as I'm trying to get pictures of them. But
so have you seen, because having been a runner myself and watched, I grew up, my dad had me in a stroller at road races when I was, so there's a lot that can happen across a finish line, like a lot of faces, a lot of potentially bodily fluids, depending on how hard some people have run or the temperature. Have you seen any really dramatic, does anything stick out, like a weird, like you're taking a picture and you're like, oh, that was a really dramatic or weird face or weird thing that happened when they crossed the finish line?
Yeah, we've definitely gotten some good shots for sure.
Or just weird faces of people being exhausted.
For those of us that aren't runners, what are you talking about? Bodily fluids? Are people
if you run real hard, or if it's maybe,
puking?
but I'm more talking about puking.
Oh,
there's some people that are just more prone to, if you run really hard, or if it's really hot or something, or if you didn't eat at the right time, and you've exerted yourself a lot, and then you stop no one knows what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm sure
if anyone out there is a runner, they know what I'm talking about.
I simply asked for those of us who aren't runners.
No. So that can happen. Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
I would assume. I've heard
or pass out. People often.
I've seen that.
Will pass out.
Yeah. I watched a movie here recently about the whole movie is about a woman who decides to start running.
Oh, is that the? I know. Brittany does a
Brittany runs a
marathon.
marathon.
That was a
Okay.
good one. Yeah.
It's a horrible title for a movie, but
It's a good movie.
yeah, very interesting movie. But in there, it depicted like the ability to like people's legs would start giving out, and
Yeah.
but I just assume it's like people like me.
Yeah.
Well, I think probably for most people running that are going and running and not like trying to kill themselves crossing the line, that's not going to happen. But
What's the craziest thing that's happened during Icebreaker under your watch?
Craziest thing. I don't know that we have had any.
Anybody bring their goat to run along
Yeah.
with them?
You know, I
was
would
like,
say
is there
the funniest picture moment I
Yeah.
would say was I can't really remember his name, but I was taking pictures, and all of a sudden I turned to take a picture, and here was a regular racer. I mean, I recognized him from, multiple years, and he had a kilt on.
Nice.
and I was
love
like,
it
I'm like,
already.
rock on. And then I double looked, and because I thought I saw something on his shoulder, and I don't condone this because we do not allow, let me repeat, we do not allow any pets in the Icebreaker.
Okay.
No pets allowed.
No pets allowed. But I double looked, and he had the largest, I don't know what it was. It was some sort of bird on his shoulder. I mean, it was like either like a parrot or I don't know birds, but it was
Macaw.
I know
or something.
That's the only other
Those
one
are
I
the
know.
ones I know.
And this guy was just rocking it loud and proud, and
a kilt and the bird.
a kilt and a bird.
That's
and,
amazing.
And I knew him. He was a regular runner. You know, like older gentleman.
Yeah.
Like big long white beard. And
this picture is just coming in.
and I
image in my
had
mind.
to take a picture of
Yeah.
it. I mean, he was in the middle of the crowd, and it was gunshot, and he took
Yeah.
he was walking, and it's not like I could just go into the middle of the race and say,
Yeah.
sorry sir, you can't have a bird,
Right.
because it would have stopped other
Everybody
races
else.
times and
Yeah.
everything.
Can
But
you confirm it was not a pigeon on a leash?
I cannot confirm that at this time.
Oh,
Yeah. But it was
Okay.
definitely a moment that
It could be.
I always remember
was
that.
there? Was the bird pooping down his back?
No, I cannot
That's good.
confirm poop, but
That's good.
it was a great photo,
We're asking
and I still
because
have
we've
it.
heard this.
We've heard some stories about a gentleman that is around town that
Has pigeon poop on his shirt?
has a pet pigeon that he keeps on a leash, and it usually rides around on his shoulder.
Definitely wasn't a pigeon.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely know the
Different
flying rats.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's somebody's pet.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, no, it is like one dude's
Oh,
pet.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
No.
Okay.
So that was a
Wow.
moment.
That's
Yeah.
a weird one.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, who would think to? I mean, he had a whole thing going on. You know,
Yeah.
between the.
Well,
the-
and there
I mean,
are
who
the
thinks to do a race in a kilt?
Right.
Let alone bring a bird on a
with
shoulder.
your bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, it's just a 1 mile probably.
Yeah, I think it
Do-
probably was.
Do the 5, the 3, and the 1 all start at the same time or not?
No, we stagger it by an hour. So the 5 miles starts at 3, and then the
PM, AM.
3 p.m.
Okay.
and then
She's like,
oh, I'm sorry, I said that.
how
I'm saying
early
that
do-
backwards. The 5 miles starts at 1.
Okay.
Okay, and then the 3 miles starts at 2,
Okay.
and then the 1 mile starts at 3.
3.
Yeah,
Oh.
and that gives every race an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and then we do all the awards at 4. So everyone, it staggers by an hour so that everybody.
You
meets-
got to be done. by
You got to
then.
be done by an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the condition, is that whatever race you sign up for, we're basically expecting you to be done by
Well,
an hour.
I mean, or at least more than halfway done, like with the 5 mile by
Yeah.
the time the 3 miles starts.
Yeah. And it's very common that a lot of our racers are doing multiple events. It's very common that you have
That's
the 5 mile
lofty
people
goals.
are doing the sign up for the 3 miles. So they do the 5 and then they turn around and they're ready to do the 3 mile.
Are these the elite ones that are trying to win all the money?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, and a lot
I
of them are
guess.
just
Doing it. What are you trying? You're counting your fingers over there.
A 5 mile run in an hour? Because you got to be back by the start time or.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I mean, you could probably be over, but no, by the time you get back, you're starting again.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have some time to make up because people started at 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
speedy.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of people that walk the 5 mile
Mm-hmm.
and they're done in an hour. It's like speed walking.
Not my
That's
skill
fast.
set.
Yeah.
But
very fast
obviously,
walking.
tons of ways to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you see the like power walkers that are really like the Olympic style like
weird
power walker,
Maybe
like
in the
wiggle,
three
wiggle,
mile.
wiggle,
Yeah.
wiggle, wiggle,
Yeah,
wiggle.
yeah. They
Yeah.
like it's like they're wiggling, but they're not. They're like gliding all at the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah,
There's a special technique to
there
that.
is.
There is.
Yeah, it
It's like
feels
in
like
your hips.
yeah. I was like, it seems
Yeah.
like a lot of hip motion, but it's probably you're probably not supposed to focus on your hips. I don't know.
Mm.
Right.
I had a friend in college who did it, and she was amazing. But
Huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be on the lookout for those people because it's just fun
The
to watch.
gliders.
Yes.
The gliders.
How many people usually show up
Oh,
for the icebreaker?
So that ranges pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
Yeah, it's
the
the
term.
Yeah.
the wrinkle in
The
time.
new
Yeah,
term.
uh-huh.
Pre-COVID, it was pretty common to have an average of about 3,200 racers.
Yeah, that's a lot. Mhm.
Yeah, that was probably our safe bet.
Yeah.
Then COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we went a year where we didn't actually do the race during the normal April period,
Mm-hmm.
and then we pushed it to the fall, and then we didn't have.
That's right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah, we didn't have it then, and then we tried to
Mhm.
do a virtual race in the
Mhm.
fall, and
Oh yeah.
and we did the virtual.
Yeah.
And we only had about 600 people who did the virtual, but it was
Yeah.
very important for our department to at least keep Icebreaker
Going.
out there.
Yeah.
And obviously we, like I explained, we had already planned it since the previous
Yeah.
October.
Mhm.
And then and since then, you know, last year we didn't meet that mark, but we still had over 2,000 racers for our first year back live.
Wow.
So we're hoping to get it back up into that range this
Yeah.
year. You
Yeah.
know, so
And
Go ahead.
well, it's called the Icebreaker,
Breaker.
which is like we said. Right now, we're sitting there. There's a ton of snow outside. It's pretty chilly today.
right.
Talk about the range of weather conditions that you've seen over the years. Because last year, if I remember correctly, it was
Beautiful.
really nice, gorgeous
beautiful.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah, last year was the perfect weather conditions.
Mhm.
You know, the last 5 years has been crazy for Icebreaker because
Mhm.
last year was perfect, but it was our first year back pre-COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And then the year before that was COVID.
Yeah.
And then the year before that, we had one of the worst blizzards known to man. It was like whiteouts. I
Yeah.
mean, like they thought it was going to be the first year that we were going to cancel Icebreaker, and we were
Wow.
like, nope, we're like the post office. We
Keep
We're
going.
keep
dedicated.
going no matter what. And
Yeah.
we literally did the Icebreaker in a blizzard.
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
my golf cart was going sideways, and people showed up. I mean,
Yeah.
we still carried on. The year before that, it was, I think it was maybe still cold, but
Yeah.
we carried on. I mean, and I've been with the department since 2017, and I think I've had 2 nice Icebreakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's such a
it's hit or
named-
miss.
Right.
It's
named
almost
for
like
a
a
reason.
Badge of honor, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do feel more like, oh, I
I did
accomplished
it. Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
If you tough it out.
Right.
It's not just a walk in the park. It's the icebreaker.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's named that for a reason. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you feel, don't let that stop you because you'll feel so much more accomplished if you come and run through the snow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A Pacer's doing it.
Pacer does it.
Yeah.
He's
well,
a penguin.
actually, yeah. Those costumes
Orbit's
have to
doing
be,
it.
Yeah, the alien's doing
That
it.
is the indicator.
Yeah. If the
Or
alien does
the
it.
alien still shows up.
Right.
Yeah,
Then
things
you
are
should
great.
do it.
Yeah. I do not like costumed characters. I haven't as a kid. Like I'm terrified
Do
of
they
them.
scare you?
Yeah.
Are they like clowns?
Clowns. It doesn't. I think it's maybe something about the face, like not being able to see somebody's face or who it is.
Mhm.
Clowns don't bother me as much because it's still like you can still see it's a human. I guess I don't know.
So are you saying you
don't-
don't like Orbit?
Well,
Does-
he's fine from a distance. What I'm saying is I don't want Orbit or Pacer anywhere
Holding your
close
hand.
to
Do
me.
you not like our Easter bunny then?
I don't.
At
No,
our Easter hunt?
I just, I'm fine. Just don't. If they're at the
Interesting.
distance, I don't even like putting this out there because somebody's gonna like play a mean trick on me. It's
I'll
like
make sure
don't-
Pacer stays away from you then.
Thank
Hey,
you.
just
I
leave
feel
the
like,
pack. Don't get
See,
in
that's
the
what I mean.
back.
Like if like they're running right behind me, that'd probably be good motivation for
So
me.
you're not
Stay away.
volunteering to be Pacer then, is what you're
I
saying?
might be okay if I am Pacer.
Because we do need a Pacer.
Oh.
So.
How do you normally pick Pacer?
Yeah.
Actually, we are lucky every year is we get one of the high school students
Yeah,
to
nice.
be
Oh.
Pacer the
Mhm.
Penguin, and hence the ability to run that
Run.
much
Yeah,
And
fair.
be kind with
in
someone.
a costume.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like the costume could either be really like nice to if it's just chilly, but not like
absolutely
not
hot days. It
If
stinks.
it's hot, it would stink, or if it's like soaking rain, I feel like that would just get like.
I mean,
Ugh.
I have to say that these kids, and even I hope no children are listening to your podcast. Even the gentleman that plays our Easter Bunny,
Yeah,
they go above and beyond because they
Yeah.
do have on the verge of heat strokes in these costumes.
I can only
I
imagine.
mean, because even on cool days, I mean, when we
you're
have,
running inside a costume.
yeah, I mean, even at the Easter egg hunt, you know, when it's cool out.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's it gets hot in there.
Mhm.
So, we're talking a lot about the icebreaker, which is April
23rd.
23rd. So just a few weeks before will be the annual Easter egg hunt
Yes.
Yeah.
in Gibson Park, which is like a huge
Huge event.
thing.
Mhm.
So you're like double duty in it right now.
Yeah, like every weekend we have something. We have like
and the ducks should be
and the
released
ducks is the same.
yeah.
That is the weekend before that. So April's a busy month for Park and Rec.
A lot. It's spring, man.
Yeah. Do you get to take a break at all after the icebreaker's over?
I may just not work in May.
Yeah, I was like, do you take
So-
May off?
Yeah, I'm
Because
just not
you
going to work
should.
in May. Yeah.
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
I make it through April, then
yeah,
we're solid.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
So tell me, we can come back to the icebreaker, but now I'm diverging onto
Yeah.
the ducks. What's
Sure.
your role during
Ooh.
the duck roundup?
So once the PR part is done, you know, the Facebook and the press releases and
Yeah.
stuff, I just go there and I do like either Facebook Live, and then I take all the pictures for it.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then similar role when they're released back into the wild.
Yep,
Mhm.
opposite and forward. Yep.
Yes.
Either pushing them in or pushing them out. So
So I got to go, and my mom was with me. Sarah let us in October into the Honker Hilton. I had never gotten to see inside before. So the Honker Hilton is where all of our resident waterfowl from Gibson Pond go to stay over the winter months, and they get pretty pampered in there. I shared some pictures if you want to look back on our
So
Facebook.
you know the
but
actual location of the Honker Hilton.
yeah,
she's been
You-
behind the curtain.
I've been behind the curtain. Yeah,
I've not
So-
been allowed, and I believe
This was
this
the
is
first
a
time
good
I've been-
plan for me.
Yeah.
Like, because I would just then tell people where it was.
yeah. I mean, it's not like
It's
a,
not
big
a big
secret,
secret.
where it is. You
It's
can
at the
see
end of
it. It's
Gibson.
visible at all times.
The secret's out.
You shouldn't have told us.
I'm not telling you which end of.
Yeah. Oh, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to
There you
figure
go.
that out. Yeah. There was no buildings on one end. Yeah. Yeah.
Shannon!
But okay. So tell people a little bit about the birds that stay there, because we always say, like, people always ask, like, oh, are all their wings clipped? Oh, are you like, were these somebody's pets? Oh, you know, do they get
Oh,
cold? Do they get taken care of? Tell us about
So
the
How did you
birds.
acquire the birds?
So it's a little bit of all of the above.
Mhm.
It's basically birds that can't migrate.
Yeah.
They're birds that were either given to Park and Rec, or we don't take birds anymore. You know, from if people try to donate birds, we don't take birds in. If they end up in the pond, that's a little bit out of our control,
Right.
I suppose. But yeah, they're birds that either had their wings clipped or for whatever reason can't fly. Our numbers have gone down over the years. That number counts that's in the hotel. It used to be a lot larger, shall we say. But yeah, so that facility does have like an indoor heated pool pool, shall we say.
It's a spa treatment.
It's like a
in
spa
there.
treatment.
Yeah.
They get fed daily by our staff, and their indoor quarters are cleaned daily by our staff. And then
Like
they
have it pretty good in there.
yeah, they have like an indoor heated area and pool area, and then they have an outdoor play area that they can go outside that's enclosed. And so they're kept all winter, and then there's with the date that we pick every year is during spring break for the kids, so we purposely pick that date so that families and kids can come and watch the event. And then same
It's pretty fun to see
in the
that.
fall.
Yeah.
So the roundup is during fall break for the kids, so we purposely picked we use the GFPS calendar, and we just wait for that to be released, and then we say when's the fall break, when is the spring break, and then those are the Fridays that we pick.
Yeah. It's pretty fun to watch, especially the roundup
The
process.
roundup's the best.
Because these are they Park and Rec employees?
Yep.
Get the big like gaiters on and get in the water, and I mean they're like gently, but they're hurting them. One time when I was covering the event for the news, I got on camera one of the guys like slipping and falling in the pond, and I was like, that poor guy.
Yeah, that's the only reason our inside staff goes is to see who's gonna fall.
Yeah, that's like a whole somebody
and
has
it's
to
been
buy
disappointing
donuts.
for the last like 3 years because no one has fallen.
Oh man!
And it's always seasonal staff that's in the water. It's not full-time staff. We put the seasonal staff in there. And we're like, all right, inside bets, who's going down?
Yeah.
So
and
the pool just keeps growing every year
Yeah.
when nobody falls.
yeah, and we're just like, come on, someone's got to fall, and the seasonal staff just keeps getting better every year, and we're like, come on, someone's going down, and no one does.
Wow.
And it's disappointing every year. So
we'll see.
I know, I'm waiting.
There's time.
I'm waiting.
So the release, let me ask it this way. So you're rounding up and they're going inside what looks like a box. Is that actually a condo, or is that just a transportation box?
Transportation box.
Okay.
It's just a truck bed that they've
Customized.
retrofitted to transport the ducks.
And then the roundups to release has got to be a little bit easier because they're in a little bit more of a confined space. And then they just come back out and reverse it.
Yep.
Dump them in. Do you have to chase any like who are jumping out of the water and running towards like Vinegar Jones's cabin? You're like, hey, get back here.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Or like, oh crap, did you see those 20 we missed?
Yeah.
And then you're back out there the next day like, dude, what were you doing? Come on, you got to get
Do
into
this
your
quietly.
box.
Yeah.
Right. Last year was probably the for the roundup was probably the quickest roundup we've had.
That one did go quickly.
So quickly.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have any.
I was surprised. I was kind of running back and forth.
Yeah,
trying to
like
get footage. Yeah.
they rounded them up so quickly, and usually there's always like two scragglers, like that run
Stubborn.
for the cabin.
Yeah.
Like we're not going in. You got to catch me. And
My spirit animals.
Yeah, exactly.
when
or
really you're like, okay, but you're gonna freeze. If
Exactly,
You're
you know,
going
like,
to a spa.
they run for the island, or they
Yeah.
run for the cabin, and or they all of a sudden think they can fly, and but last year they just all kind of just were like, okay, we'll go,
Fine.
fine, and
Bless my will.
exactly, and it was like I could even see the crowd just all staring like, oh, it's over, like
oh, that was
no one
uneventful.
fell and everyone just went,
Yeah.
and
Well, that was not what I was hoping
exactly.
for.
So
Maybe you could talk to the seasonal staff this year, like, hey,
put on a show.
let's really
let one go.
get the engagement of the audience.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to hear some cheers and some gasps and
Yeah.
look at that one get away.
Throw some duck food that way or something, Yeah.
Do you have a favorite bird?
I like the ones with the crazy tufts on their head.
yeah.
That looks like they have like bedhead. Those are my favorite.
And we were talking earlier today. There's still a vendor at the snack shack, right?
Oh.
Yes.
And are they usually open at the time of release and collection?
We make sure that we let Jonathan know when we're doing it, so that he has the opportunity, and he keeps his 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 availability is allowed to be open past those dates, you know. So I'm pretty sure he was open for the last couple of years. I want to say for the release he was open, and I honestly can't remember if he was open for the roundup or not. I feel like he was, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely is informed when we do the release and roundup.
Years ago, we took my nieces and nephew down just to the park, not in conjunction with the release or the roundup. And there was bird food available. So we purchased a bunch of packets of bird food. And my nephew did not like or enjoy the eating from your fingers. I thought it was cool because I'd never been scraped by a duck bill before, you know? So you're like, you just hand it and they eat it.
Are you supposed to be able to get them that? I thought you just tossed
they're
it.
a little demanding. Like it does not matter what the rules
Or
are.
just
they're
just give
making
them what
their
they
own
want.
rules.
Yeah.
Like so you're like just holding a piece and they take it and then they like, hey, we see there's more.
Yeah.
Get it coming. So like
okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So
It can be intimidating for small children, especially when those Canadian geese surround you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not the nicest creatures.
Yes, they and they come quickly, and they're quite tall. You know, and
they're just really not scared.
No, they have no, especially like with moving cars. You know,
Yeah,
so
that's
we really
the whole thing
encourage
is, like,
people to
gotta
drive
slow down.
Pay attention.
down that road slowly.
Yeah, they'll cross. They're just gonna do it in their own time.
in their own time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is kind of it. Oh, but I do love when the little what are they called? Hatchling. The little baby
The
ones,
little
and then the little
babies.
teenagers.
Yeah,
It's fun to watch in the spring and summer to watch them grow.
it is kind of their area.
You don't like that?
That's fine.
Like the grown-ups are mean and whatever, but it's cute to watch the little babies
Just
learn about
annoyed.
their world.
Like they're just waddling. They're taking their time.
It is like it does.
I'm like,
become
come
a
on,
traffic
I
thing
have
of,
a
like,
meeting,
right.
and they're like, and then it's like they can tell you're
they,
annoyed,
like, stare at you,
and then they turn, they look at you like, what are you gonna do about
right.
it?
You're like, this is my pace.
Yeah.
And if you want to be annoyed, I can take longer.
They're like, I don't have a meeting to get
Right.
to.
And then they'll just sit there and stare at you like, I wonder how long.
She's gonna wait.
Because you're not allowed to
Nope, I'm
run
not.
us over.
I'm not going, obviously. I just would like you to move quicker. And sometimes it's like they can tell.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you don't admire my beauty? You don't admire my waddle?
You are lucky to be in my presence watching. Yeah.
Well, let's correct that. And I'm like, why do I always get these ones?
Sometimes it's that game of like you barely inch forward to like hurry them up, but you got to be careful because
So, folks, this is true. Like we aren't just making this up. Every resident
a
of
thing.
Great Falls has a story about the ducks or the geese and their traffic jamming abilities
Their
that they
world.
really take pride in. But just know that if you're going to be traveling in and around Gibson Park or down by the river, build in some time to enjoy the
Watching
glory.
them walk across the road.
glory of the waddle.
Nature at its finest.
And
I
for
kind of
most
want to
of
name
you,
the podcast episode "Glory of the Waddle."
hey,
It
we
kind of
can.
applies
Yep.
to both this and trying to run. I guess. Yeah.
Well, and it's a penguin, so it works just fine.
Perfect.
But I guess that is the benefit when you're here as a traveler. You're
You're
usually
not as annoyed,
just
probably.
kind of in a little bit slower of a pace and enjoying the entire beauty that surrounds you.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be frustrated by the beauty of the
The glory of
The
the waddle.
glory of the waddle.
I'm gonna get you a pillow that says that.
I love that.
The glory of the waddle. I'm gonna crochet it.
needle
I'm
point
gonna
it for me?
crochet it or needle point it for you.
That'll
go.
be perfect. We've got a nice chair. It'll go on right
Yeah.
here in
I
the
love
office.
It. That's
That's for you.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But the it's April 7th, right? Is the plan April 7th at 10:30? I think is the planned date for the duck release.
If that is a Friday,
It
then
is. Well, I guess I should double check, but that's Steve told me that Steve Herrick said that.
Is this
I'll double
public information or are we breaking news right here on
Oh.
We're No Damn Experts?
Well, it's
It is
public.
public,
That's where
but-
spring break is.
If it sounds better making it breaking news, then
Breaking news.
you heard it
You
here
heard it
first
You
here.
heard it
Yes.
on this podcast
That's
first.
true. I haven't seen it any. Yeah. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
April 7th.
April
Mhm.
7th, 10:30.
Pending major things, right?
Pending weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the only reason we would change it is
Yeah.
weather.
Because you also like these are living creatures that you don't want to put out too early if it's like an ice storm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
There you go. So okay, we'll have that coming up.
I really like the ducks at Gibson Park.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You just don't
Like-
like the geese.
I don't mind them.
Mm.
I like it when I get food and they come to see me. But most of the time, like when I determine it's time for me to engage with the birds, I go to Gibson Park.
Yeah.
They do their thing. They pose for me for pictures, and then I walk away. It is not the same as when they decide to
Yeah.
engage with me.
Mhm. That's
Right.
scarier.
Like they
Mhm.
didn't call ahead and say, "Hey, we're going to be crossing around this time." Like there was no
Let's work a deal
pre-planned
here.
communication.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy the initial "I'm going to engage with
Mhm.
you." That's
Yeah,
why.
it's on your terms.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the pond is just Gibson Pond, and the ducks is just
Mhm.
something you think of when you think of Great Falls.
Yeah.
100%.
You know,
Mhm.
I think if we didn't have that, or I mean, even if you had the pond but not the ducks,
Yeah. It's just
it would
It's
be
as-
something you wouldn't.
It's
Yeah.
as cornerstone as the Sip and Dip Lounge.
Mm.
Absolutely.
and one of
Both
the things
water
you need to
features.
see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And people just love the ducks. People love that. It's usually a very large turnout for
Right.
these releases and roundups.
You know, we get the fountains going, and
Mm.
get the little benches and the pushways out. And,
Yeah.
it's just kind
Is
of something you do in the
yeah.
summer and the
Mhm.
spring.
Yeah.
it's like Groundhog Day.
It
but
is.
Really,
for
it just
us, yeah. It's a
marks
sign
of
it's
the
a sign of
season.
spring.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How many resident birds do we have in the Honker Hilton?
Oh, I don't know. That I
Oh.
don't know. But I could go do a head count. I mean, I'd have to start over a lot every time they move, but I could try my best.
I kind of want to be there when you get
Okay.
video of you
And
trying
then,
to do that.
and then be like, okay, wait, I start over.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, I start over. Stop
My
moving.
favorite is like if there's 250 and like
Yeah.
at 100, you're like, dang it.
Dang it, they moved. Start
There's
over.
not that many. There's what, like 30-ish?
Oh, I think there'd.
Is there more than
I
that
think
now?
there'd be more than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not 250 though.
Still though.
It's still,
Be
yeah, you
fun.
get to the end and you're like,
That's why I
I'll
don't
take a picture and then.
there you go.
Circle.
Yeah, maybe that's
circle.
a better way to do it. Yeah.
Well,
But it'd be
that's-
more entertaining to watch.
Yeah,
you
it'd
try
be definitely more entertaining
Yeah.
if
Better
you film
content.
it. Yeah.
to- So you let me know if you're going to
Okay.
do that.
I'll call you.
We'll post that.
Featured here.
Yes.
Coming
We're
soon.
getting such great content ideas. I'm thinking just go do it. Just go count how many birds there are before the release. Or
What I
try to count them as they're released.
One,
yeah.
two,
Like,
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
It'd be like a weird version of Duck Duck Goose,
Yeah.
right?
Totally. Also, would be fun to get video of you discovering that this building that you've seen for years is actually the Honker Hilton, and realizing that's where the ducks
I
are.
think we just need to take her for a tour.
Yeah.
Like,
Be
I feel like she's missing out.
This is it.
Especially, like as much as we found out she loves the geese, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just often think there are things that are kept from me because it's just better for society that I not know certain things.
She
You know?
wants it to be left in a mystery.
Like
Yeah.
there's some things where people are like, have you done that? I'm like, no. But I honestly believe it's probably for my own good and for the betterment of society that I'm not included in some of this
Yeah.
stuff. Like
You're welcome.
other
Yeah.
times I'm offended, like, why wasn't I included? But then other times I'm like, no, it
No,
makes
this
sense
is the
that,
be- this
that,
is for the
that,
best.
that this is kept from me. I just feel
so
that.
maybe this is one of them. I don't know. I'm not sure where this falls. Yeah.
I just do feel it's a betterment of society that but we've already released it, so
Yeah.
now I'm gonna have covert operations to go in and pet the ducks and go,
Oh, that's why, because she then feels the need to try to break in if she knows where it is. Yeah.
Little-
Little,
You-
little,
if you
a little
ca-
B&E for on Park and Rec property.
sure I won't get arrested. I'm sure there won't be a headline in the Tribune
I'll
that says
I'll let Steve know in advance.
Executive Director of Tourism breaks into the Honker Hilton
It's for
to
research,
count birds.
research purposes
To feed the geese.
to feed the geese.
Oh,
I'll take my own pictures and post it on social media.
I was counting, I swear.
Yeah.
We're doing content. But Steve, didn't you get that email?
It was on the podcast.
Yeah. It's your own fault for not hearing it. Yeah. So the icebreaker.
Oh, we're going back to that now. Okay.
Well, we didn't say how much it is, when you need to register, all of that
Oh,
stuff.
right. So this year we're doing all the registration online.
Okay.
Ooh.
Or you can come into Park and Recreation down at 1700 River Drive North. You can, if you register, one cool thing this year, which is never been done in the history of Icebreaker.
Which is how many years now? 40?
40.
something?
This is the 43rd annual.
Okay.
So in the past, when you registered for Icebreaker, we would let you come to Park and Rec and get your T-shirt and your lunch tickets and everything. But then you would have to come down either the Saturday before or before the race, like an hour or two before the race, and get your bib.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was our
Your runner number.
Your runner number, right? Well, this year we're working with a new timing company called Competitive Timing. They're a Montana-based timing company. They do like the Governor's Cup and Kicking Asphalt. They do a lot of Montana races that people are probably familiar with.
Yeah.
So since we're working with this timing company now, they actually give us everything in advance. So now, starting from March 6th forward, when we open registration, you don't have to wait until that Saturday before or a couple hours before the race. Now, packet pickup is instant. So if you register online at home, sitting at home, you can come tomorrow to Park and Rec, walk in the door, give me your name. I log you in, I give you your T-shirt, I give you your bib, I give you your lunch ticket, and boom, you're ready for the race. You don't have to, you don't have to come back on Saturday.
But you can still get it
you can still get it on that Saturday for pre-packet pickup, or you can get it on the day of the race. It's just nice because that Saturday before gets crazy with people wanting to do pre-packet pickup.
Well, especially if it's 3,200 people.
Yeah,
Right,
I
and
mean,
you're coming from out
that's
of
a
town.
lot of
yeah,
people.
you're coming out
it's
of town. Now what's nice about it is you have a whole month to come in at your leisure to come to Park and Rec.
Yeah.
And we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So you can just pop in, get your race pre-packet pickup, and just be ready for race day. You can just walk in and you're already bibbed up, shirted up, ready to go. Like I said, we're doing what I mean by online only is for people who are familiar with Icebreaker. In the past, we had paper applications that you could either take and fill out, or when you showed up on race day, you could fill out paper ones and hand it to us, and we would start manually entering things, or you could mail registrations into Park and Rec. We don't do that anymore. This new race,
no longer an option.
Yeah, no longer an option. This new race company is online only. Now, if you don't have access to online, or maybe you need additional assistance, like online.
Because you're not tech savvy.
Yeah, you're not tech savvy, or you just need a little additional assistance. Come down to Park and Recreation. Our staff will do all that for you. We have computers set up right there in the office. We will do it all for you. You just stand there, give us your information. We do it all for you.
Can they call in and that same kind of service happens or not?
You can, but then you're giving us your stuff over the phone, and some people aren't comfortable giving us your credit card over the phone. Another thing to keep in mind, if you pay over the phone, you're using a credit card. The credit card feature does come with, like any service online, it comes with a fee for using a credit card. If you choose to come into Park and Rec, you do then have the option to use cash or check, where there's no fee option.
Okay.
All online versions do come with that service fee of using a credit card.
Yeah.
Just to keep in mind, like any race or event out there, you know,
kind
it's
of a
just
standard
it's
practice
a standard
anymore.
practice anymore. It's a pretty nominal fee. I think it's like $2 and I can't remember
95 cents.
Yeah, like something like that. The price right now, now through April 16th, it's early registration fees. So if you are 10 and under, it's only $15 to get all those goodies I told you: a T-shirt, a finisher's medal, a lunch, the event itself, and it's $22 if you're 11 and up.
Okay.
And then after April 17th, all the way up to race day, then you're in the late registration price point. So you add $5 to every registration.
Okay.
So then you would be $20 or you would be $27. And then for you overachievers who want to do an additional race, you know,
double up. Yeah.
double up, it's only $5 to add an extra
To
race.
add extra race. Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's a heck of a deal if you look at
Yeah.
other races around the state.
It was
We're
just-
still
So if I run the 5 mile or I run the 1 mile, it's the same price.
yes.
And if I do both of them,
$5 more.
I get to pay the one price plus $5.
yes.
And I laugh because everyone knows that I'm not doing
That you're gonna do both.
Yeah.
So, well, that's really neat.
Can I register the day of? Can I decide
Absolutely.
on
You
that
can
day?
come race day and we'll have
Okay.
like 6 laptops set up and
Okay.
we'll be registering people. I think we cut off about 45 minutes before each race.
Okay.
So like, you know, say the first race is at 1, we're going to cut off about 45 minutes before 1 o'clock, and then that race closes down just so that the system has enough time to say, we're done.
Yeah.
And then we'll do that for all 3 races just so that the timing company
Yeah. There's
has to have some sort of stopping point to do what they need, their special magic behind the curtain, you know,
Yeah,
to start it. And then we just go from there. But yeah, we'll have shirts and bibs and volunteers. Please contact me if you'd like to volunteer. And right up until the races start. So
You said no pets allowed in the race. Am I allowed to bring my dog to watch and cheer on somebody else?
we can't stop people
'Cause
doing
it's
whatever they want to
public
do.
space.
Yep,
Yeah.
outside. Obviously no pets within the building, within
Yeah.
the Civic Center.
Yeah.
Or Mansfield Center is actually where we're going to be in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no pets in the
race
race.
itself, yeah.
But yeah, if you want to be
A spectator.
a spectator on the sidewalks,
Have you had any heated timing contention, like disputes over what the actual
Oh.
time was of a runner?
Or
Yes.
who won?
yes. Unfortunately, we had some issues last year.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why we're with a new timing company.
Ah.
There's a reason.
We had a mishap with our timing company last year.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah, so we're hoping that we don't lose runners this year from the mishap,
The system.
the timing company that we had last year.
But obviously fix it somehow. Okay. Maybe we just aren't going to talk about this because I was hoping there was like a dramatic story of, oh, yeah. And then there was this, like they went to fisticuffs and people were tearing numbers off of each other going, this is my bib. And
We just unfortunately our timing company which was a national firm that we had we were under contract with last year just didn't bring enough chipped bibs. And so we were contracted to have enough chipped bibs. They just didn't show up with enough chipped bibs. And so we had over I think 500 racers without timed bibs running. And that's, as you can imagine, that's a domino effect when you have people racing and coming across the finish line without a timed bib. You know what I mean? That domino affects every person's time. And so for us as the host, you know, sponsor of the race, you know, that left us high and dry.
Yeah, you get the brunt of it. Where
We get the brunt of
out
it.
Of your control.
Yeah, where you know, when you have elite runners,
right,
you know, who and we have always announced winners at 4:00.
Yeah.
You know, so we have 45 minutes to say, here are the winners, you know, and so we're expecting race results right away, and we couldn't do that, and so we were trying to scramble in 45 minutes, not knowing who actually won, and so we were announcing wrong winners the day of the event, and then for the next 2.5-3 weeks, it was me in front of a TV screen literally, because we film all the racers coming across on our own. We've done that for years. We have
camera.
A person up on the finish line with a just a camera filming people, and it was me countless hours watching bib numbers coming across for me to write down the top 10 winners, to actually physically verify winners and then say, I'm sorry, I thought you were the winner, but you're not really the winner.
Yeah.
It's really this bib number.
Yeah.
So that's a big blow for a
That
race.
is a huge bummer.
When you've built 42 years of being a reputable race to take that kind of hit, I mean, it was we did what we needed to do with our racers and with explaining as best we could, but
it's still a bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer.
And when you have those elite runners or the ones that come with their own coaches and then everybody's involved, and it's just
and and it wasn't even, I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't even for me personally. I mean, yes, the elite runners are important, but it was our local runners that for me was the hardest.
Yeah,
because they're the ones that year after year after year that come, and their numbers are important to them, and they've been, because we have a category, the masters category, so they're a certain age and older, and they're the ones that I've been the masters #1 winner for the last, 5 years, and that's important to them, and they've worked hard to get to that category. And for this kind of mess up, it offended them, and it offended us, it was that kind of thing that it just made it look bad, and it just
that's hard.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Well, leave it to me to bring up like the worst
good question
segue ever in the world.
No, so I mean that actually it's it's like one of those things where I don't know, I can't think of one of those cheesy lines where from a bad thing comes a good thing, because we, like I said, we're with competitive timing now, and they had been trying to get us on board with them. They actually said, you're the last race in Montana we've been trying to get, for years. I mean, like, as long as I've been with Park and Rec, they've been trying to get us on board with them and
woo you.
Yeah, woo us. And we finally got on board with them, and I got to tell you, they have been amazing. I mean, like their registration platform is amazing, and they're just a great group of guys, and everything has been really good, and their onboarding has been amazing, and I can't wait to see how the actual race day goes, because it's just been great, and I think we're going to see good things from them. So
well,
I'm
that's
excited.
Exciting,
yeah, like I was nervous
because
because the March 6th came around, which was opening registration day, and I was like, oh, they're supposed to be here at 7:30, and they were here at like 7:15, and I'm like, okay, all right. And so then they came to train our staff on how to do, like online registration. I'm like, it can't be that easy, and they're like, it's that easy, and I'm like, okay, all right, let's do this, so we'll see.
Well, I've certainly enjoyed our time talking. I thought I had no idea we were going to go from penguins to Easter bunnies to birds to.
We made a plan for you for race day.
Yeah.
I'm excited for race day.
No, I'm going to sign both of you up. So expect your race packet in the mail.
Ooh.
So
yes.
I had no idea that the bibs were chipped, but that makes sense versus someone standing there to
click.
Oh,
here's your ticket.
And that's hard when there's massive groups coming across. And
and honestly, honestly, I would never volunteer or be selected to be in charge of stopping a timer. Because I just forget. I'm like, oh,
I forgot about you.
Yeah.
I forgot. I was just dazed
you
off.
Were so
busy
watching.
A butterfly.
A goose coming to eat.
A Canadian geese walking by.
My husband shoots trapped, much like Shannon's husband. And so we go to these shoots, and I go just to hang out. And people are like, oh, do you want to push the button when they say call? I'm like, no, it's really not a good plan for me.
A lot of pressure.
And so Robert, they'll ask Robert, and Robert's like, no, that's not really her strong suit. Like, I will eventually get it pushed, but I might forget to pay attention to
when they're
pull.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you know? So at Skeet, because Jason's been shooting Skeet this year with Steve. They're on the same team, actually.
Oh, okay, okay.
Steve being the director of Park and Rec, and I've gone out there most Thursdays, and I'm the bird pusher person for the houses, and like Jason was like kind of got on me the first couple times, so it's like and when it's windy and I'm trying to listen and I'm trying to learn each person's kind of like
What their
rhythm and the
cadence is,
amount of time they take, and but you got to do high house, low house, double, and it's
Too much
I'm
pressure.
telling you,
too much
talk
pressure.
about the stress.
Mhm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll just be a spectator.
And then there was one time
I'd
where
keep
you
the
could-
coolers full.
There
for
you go.
everyone.
Yep.
That's what I would do.
I would drain the
That's-
coolers.
That's a good.
See, we all have a plan here. You have the pressure. I'll keep them full, and you drink them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want the pressure.
Everyone has a role in life.
But it is tough, much like
Yeah.
the volunteers for Icebreaker,
Yeah.
finding people to push that
It's a lot.
button.
Yeah, push the button.
Yeah. So timing system. That's good.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hey, maybe there's a way to chip things.
Hey.
There you go.
Well, again, didn't expect the wild and fun conversation that we've
Yeah.
had. Big thing, Icebreaker is on a Sunday, and so that gives you ample opportunity to plan an entire
Long
trip
weekend.
around that. There's plenty of hotels within the start area, so you don't even have to drive down,
Yeah.
which is fun. And you're a runner, so you're just going to get to walk anyway.
It's your
Like,
warm up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Run down.
And regardless of the weather, it's really just a badge of honor to be able to be a part of Icebreaker.
Yeah.
And then, of course, make your trip beforehand for the bird release.
Yes. Yeah. Just come in early April. It's just stay all month.
There's something every weekend.
There is.
Well, you might as well be here for Western Art Week and never leave.
Yeah. There you go. So
Done.
Yeah.
you're already here. Just stay.
So thanks for coming in, hanging out
Thanks
with
for
us,
having me.
having a party with us. And folks, we really love that you're listening to us. And if you need help coordinating, I don't know, your trip, you need some more ideas, you want to know where the Honker Hilton is, and you want to be a part of a
Don't call
B&E
Rebecca.
effort, give us a call, 406-761-4436, or check out all of our resources at visitgreatfallsmontana.org. We can't wait to see you here in Great Falls. But until we do, we hope you are having amazing memories with your friends and family, wherever you might be. See you soon.
We are no damn experts as the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town.